All right, good day, everybody. I hope that you are well and also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 5 English lesson on Greek and Latin roots. On Greek and Latin roots. All right, so we're going to be doing Greek and Latin roots. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts. All right, so we are doing our English Language Arts, grade 5, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of Greek and Latin roots. Greek and Latin roots. And this is a continuation of our previous lesson that we did on Greek and Latin roots, and we did the first two lessons, and now we're going to do two more. And in the last one, we will do on the next time. All right, so this is Greek and Latin roots. So we said our chapter is Greek and Latin roots. Our subject is English Language Arts. Grade 5. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of Greek and Latin roots is to use words as clues to the meaning of Greek and Latin roots, and it is to determine, let's determine the meaning of Greek and Latin roots. So that is going to be our lessons for today. All right. So we say that when it comes to Greek and Latin roots, right? A root is a part of a word that has a certain meaning, right? And words that share the same root, they often have similar meanings that are related to the meaning of the roots. So a root is a part of a word that has a certain meaning. So it's a part of a word, right? And words that share the same root, they often have similar meanings that are related to the meaning of the root. All right. So we see that the root is a part of the word that has a certain meaning, and words that share the same a root, they often have similar meanings that are related to the meaning of the root. And if we are going to look at a few examples now, then it says a xylophone is an example of. All right, so if our root is phone or phon, right, this is, I think that we're going to use the same example, but then we're going to use different words, right? If our root is phone or phon, the way it's spelled, right, or is pronounced, then it means sound, right? And if it means sound, then it means that a xylophone is a musical instrument with wooden bars that are hit by small hammers. All right, so a xylophone is a musical instrument with wooden bars that are hit by smaller hammers, which means that when it comes to a xylophone, you need to hit that specific instrument in order for it to create sound, right? Because it makes sound. And the different bars you hit, the different sounds it will create, right? And then we said we have phone, and then the word phone means sound. So we have xylophone, which is a musical instrument with wooden bars that are hit with a small hammer. Then we have homophones, right? And homophones are words with the same sound, but they have different meanings as well as different spellings to the word. And then we have a telephone, right? And we say a telephone or cell phone is a machine that can carry the sound of someone's voice over a long, long distance. And that is why we can call someone, even if the person is in a different um, country, if the person is in a different continent, right? We can call the person without hesitation unless there's network issues in the area in which he or she lives. That is the only network issues you would experience. But it would be smooth sailing in order to call somebody from a distance, and then the sound waves, like they would say, right, would make it possible for us to be able to have or do a voice call, right? Or we can do a video call, which is nowadays very easily on WhatsApp. So, which if we look at those three words, right, these words are all meanings, they have the same meanings that are related to the concept of sound. All right. So that is our root word on phone, right? And we see that the phone means sound, and then if there's words with also the similar root, then it means that those words are also going to have something to do with sound, or they're going to be some way connected with sound. All right. And then you can also use your knowledge of roots to figure out the meaning of words that you haven't seen before. So if you haven't seen words before, right? And they are saying also, right, when it comes to Greek and Latin roots, you can use your knowledge of roots to figure out the meaning of a word that you haven't seen before. So this may be a word, right, with different or specific words, right? And then if you don't know what to do or how to, for example, figure out a specific word, then you try to get the meaning of that word. All right. So you can use your knowledge of roots to figure out the meaning of words that you haven't seen before. I'm sure there's a lot of words with root words that you have basically figured out the meaning of, right? And the reason why you figured the meaning of those words is because sometimes the root words are similar, right? The root words are as it's the same or the same pronunciation as maybe fruits or things that we do, right? Or eat, for example. For example, we have the root cyclo. And if we look at the first example, right, we have the root cyclo. And cyclo means circle, or cyclo means wheel, right? Because a wheel is round. And the root meter means measure. All right. You can, in the meantime, think of more words that is to do with cyclo, right? And then we are going to try and see what are the words that they are mentioning when it comes to understanding the knowledge of a meaning. And then the root meter means to measure, right? We get centimeters, we get millimeters, we get meters, kilometers, right? But each one of those, it measures, right? And then we also have a cyclometer, because now we have basically put these two words together, right? Because we said first cyclo, and I said think of words that starts with cyclo or has cyclo in, and then we also have the other word which is meter, right? And we said meter is like it means to measure, and cyclo means either round, it means it's wheel, it means it's to turn, right? So now a cyclometer is a device that measures how many times a wheel turns. And there you can see how we put the two words together to make one word. So that is a cyclometer. All right. And if we look at words with the root word of cyclo, right? Because now we want to at least try to get some form of idea as to what we said. Cyclo means circle or to turn or wheel, and the root measure meter means to measure. All right, and we said cyclo means round, means circular. It's, we even think of it as a wheel. We think of it as um, a circle, because that is basically cyclo means circle. All right. So we said cycle means round, means a wheel, gives us a circular formation, gives us a circular idea, right? So even with cyclo, we can even use the word encyclopedia. It has cyclo in. So we have cyclo, and here we have encyclopedia, right? And an encyclopedia, it is a collection of information, right? Another word for an encyclopedia they call a circle of learning. And you see here, we see our root cycle means circle, so which means that the encyclopedia means a circle of learning. So that is encyclopedia, right? It means a circle of learning, and it is a collection of information on various topics that is arranged alphabetically or by subject. All right. So encyclopedia, right? If we think of another word with the word cycling. All right, so that is basically encyclopedia, which is also it goes with that word, that root word, which is cyclo, and cyclo means either circle or it means a wheel because a wheel is circular. All right, so let's think of another word with meter in. All right, all right. So we said circular cyclopedia, right? We said meter. We are trying to figure out what kilometer is, right? It's to do with meter, right? A meter stick. And we said if we put those two words together, it is encyclometer. All right. If we also look at another other root words that is to do with Greek and Latin roots, or let's just go to our A plus students.ca and rather work from there. Otherwise, we're gonna go back and forth. All right. Okay, so we are here, right? So we made mention of a root, which is a part of a word that has a certain meaning, and words that share the same roots that often have similar meanings that are related to the meanings of a root. And we spoke about phone, and then we made mention of different words with phones, and we said phone means sound, right? And then we made mention of xylophone, homophone, telephone, cell phone, saxophone, Those are words that create sound. It is a musical instrument or something or tool that has or to do with sound, right? And then we also made mention of the cyclo. Cyclo means circle of the wheel, and we saw that an encyclopedia is a circle of learning, right? And then the root measure, meter means measure, right? All right, let's go to our test. So if we look at this word, right, the word decigon, decigon, the word decigon contains the root des. What does the root des mean? Is it 10, 100, or is it shape? Decigon. Is it 10, 100, or shape? It's a shape with how many sides? All right, so if we look at the word decigon, right, and decigon is as a root des, and if we were to find out what the root specifically is that of des, right, and then we can say that a decigon firstly is a shape with 10 sides, so we can then say this means 10, right? So this means 10. All right, if we look at the word centimeter, right? Centimeter contains the root cent. If the root cent is in centimeter, right, then what does the root cent mean? Does cent means measure? Does cent mean 100? Or does cent mean 10? We need to now say what the root cent mean. So the word centimeter contains the root cent, right? So what does the root cent mean? Does it mean measure? Does it mean 100? Or does it mean 10? All right, and if we were to find the meaning of the word cent, then we can say it is 100. The word visual, right, contains the root vis. If the word visual contains the root vis, then what does the root vis mean? What does the root vis mean? Does it mean to see shapes or lines, the study of something? What vis means? So visual contains vis. Think of visual, and I think of what vis might mean, the root of vis, of visual. All right, and if we were to find the meaning, or let's say the root meaning of vis, if you now really like, think of visual, then we can say it is to see, right? Because visual is to do with sight, it's to do with seeing, right? So the word millimeter contains the root milli, right? Then what does the root milli mean? If the word millimeter contains the root milli, then what does milli mean? Does it mean 10? Does it mean measure? Or does it mean 1000? Milli, in millimeters. What does it mean? All right, and if we were to choose the correct, let's say the root word of milli, or the meaning of milli, then it would be 1000, right? It would mean 1000. 1000 millimeters in a meter. The word microscope, right, contains the root scope. But what does the root scope mean when it comes to microscope? So the word microscope contains the root scope. What does the root scope mean? What does scope mean? Think of literally something that is to do with microscope. All right, so we can say the scope can is to do with look at, observe, or it's to do with seeing something. Then the word missile, is it a missile or missile? Missile contains the root miss. What does the root miss mean? Is it far away? Is it break or burst? Or does it mean to send? Missile. A missile is something that gets thrown. So I assume it is sent. Yes. So it is to send, because if they say to throw away or something that is to do with send, right? The word audience contains the root od. What does the root od mean? Audio. Think of audio, something that is to do with audio. Does audio have to do with looking at something or observing something? Or does audio have to do with something that is far away? Or does audio have to do with something that you can hear or listen? Audio, like sound. All right, then odd is to do with sound, so we can say it is hear or listen. I think with most of these root words, right, it's it's actually quite a bit easy because let's say for example, port, right? Like the word support contains the root port. What does the root port means? Just think of support. When it comes to supporting someone or someone, yes. Do you just look at someone and observe them? Do you carry something on or do you help someone? Support. So the root port. So usually the word will already give you the root, the meaning of the root, because with support, it is to do with helping someone. Oh, it's actually carry. Support to carry, then it means it's even to do with vehicles or certain objects that helps to carry something in a form of support. Okay, that is my mistake. But the word would already tell you what the meaning is, right? All right. The word inscribe contains the root scrib. The word inscribe contains the root scrib. What does the root scrib mean? Is it to do with writing or drawing, shapes, to look at or to observe? So inscribe. So we need to find the meaning of the root scrib. Think of the word scribe, right? Think of group work when they say that you are the one that is a scribe in the group. What is your duty? So a scribe, we can say that a scribe needs to write or draw. That is a scribe or scribe, right? They need to write or they need to draw. All right, and then the next one is the word autograph contains the root graph. What does the root graph mean? Autograph, the root graph. What does the root graph mean? Is it to bend or curve? Is it to write or draw? Or is it to measure? The root graph. So do they bend or curve? Write to draw? Measure? I think usually with autographs, it's something that they write, I think. Let's try write, because that's the only thing I can think of, especially when it comes to an autograph. Ah, and writing is correct. All right, let's do the last one. It says the word geology contains the root geo. What does the word geo mean? Does it mean, does geo mean earth and rock, earth or rock? Does it mean shape or does it mean life? Geology. Is it to do with earth or rock, shape or life? Geology. All right, so geology then means it is to do with earth and it is to do with rock. All right, we didn't even get to the second one, but we'll do that next time. All right, so this is the end of our lesson on Greek and Latin roots. We said Greek and Latin roots, they have similar like meanings to a specific root. And with a root, if you like, for example, have a specific meaning, then whatever the other word is with that root word, root word is, then it will basically have a similar meaning to it. And we made an example of phone that means sound. And once we have the word xylophone, saxophone, homophone, those are all to do with sounds, but in a different kind of way, right? But all of them have the similar meaning of it being related to sound, for example. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on Greek and Latin roots. Thank you very much, grade fives, for joining the class, and I really hope that you're going to have a good weekend further. Goodbye.